Hey kids, it's me, Teacher A. So let me help you on how to simplify rational expressions. So how do we really simplify rational expressions? Well, all you have to do is to be able to factor the numerator and then the denominator, and then you have to cancel out common factors. All right? Okay. So let's have this basic example. So let's simplify this basic fraction first. Okay? So obviously this is an example of a rational expression. Yes, this is also a rational expression because you have a constant polynomial in the numerator and you have a constant polynomial in the denominator. So this is a rational expression. So how do we simplify this rational expression? So, if you're good enough, may isip nyo kaagad ito. 36 is 4 times 9. Alright? And 81 is 9 times 9. So, that's it. You can cancel 9, both in the numerator and the denominator. So, your final answer is 4 over 9. Right? Here. It's 4 over 9. But, what if hindi ganito ang naisip ninyo? Like, for 36, ang naisip nyong factors are 3 times 12. And then for 81, ang naisip ninyo is 3 times 27. Like that. So obviously, 3 will cancel out. Okay? But, we cannot have 12 over 27 as our final answer because this is not yet in simplest form. Why? Because they still have a common factor. So you try to factor further. How? You see, it's 12. You can factor this as 4 times 3, right? What about 27? You can still factor that. It is 27 is equal to 9 times 3. Alright? So, you can cancel again these factors. And then you see, you have 4 over 9 as its simplest form. No more common factors. Of course, aside from 1. Alright? Okay. Let's have another example. Let's have this second example. This must be easy. All you have to do is to recall the quotient rule of integer exponents. Okay? So you can write this rational expression in this way. A raised to 4 over a squared times x cubed over x times y over y cubed. And then you apply the quotient rule the quotient rule. Okay? Quotient rule for integer exponents. Okay? So, what's going to be our final answer here? So, you should know that you can cancel this at 1 and this becomes 2. Okay? Here, you can cancel x and this becomes 2 also. Okay? Here, you can cancel this. This becomes 2. Okay? So, what is going to be our final answer? So, our final answer is a squared x squared over y squared. Okay? So, Madali lang, di ba? Right? Okay, moving on to our third example. Actually, in simplifying rational expressions, ang kailangan talaga na strong ang knowledge ninyo is your knowledge in factoring. Okay, yung kasi kaninang first two examples natin, bihira or baka hindi nga lumabas during exams on simplifying rational expressions. Factoring talaga ang pinaka gagamitin in reducing rational expressions. So, like in this example, okay, let's try to factor the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so I think the factoring method that we're going to use is factoring out a common monomial factor, right? Okay, so this one is equal to, for the numerator, the common factor is a squared. Okay, and then what's left inside? You're going to have x minus y. Okay, what about the denominator? What is the common factor? Yeah, it's a, and then you'll have x squared minus y squared. Okay? So I know you can immediately cancel a, right? But please notice that you can still factor x squared minus y squared, because this is a difference of two squares, right? But if you want to cancel a's here, you can do that. You can have a raised to 1 here, or simply a. So if we continue, we're going to have a times x minus y over, we factor x squared minus y squared, and it is, or the factors are x plus y times x minus y. You see? And then you can cancel this common factor. So what is the final answer to this example? It is a over x plus y here. That one. Okay? That's our final answer. So I'm going to write it here again. So it's a over x plus y. This is the simplest form. Okay, let's have this fourth example. So in this example, you have a trinomial in the numerator and another trinomial in the denominator. Okay, I think ang trinomial isa sa pinakamahirap i-factor. Hindi, unlike if you have a difference of two squares or difference of two cubes or sum of two cubes, mas madali yon i-factor compared to a trinomial. Okay? Well, to factor trinomials, marami talaga ang gumagamit ng trial and error. Okay? So, let's make use of trial and error here. Okay? But there are many ways on how to factor trinomials. Okay? So, maybe I can make another video for that. Okay? So, but for now, we make use of the TAE method, the trial and error method. Let's do it. I think it's 3a. Yeah? Times 2a. Because 6a squared is our first term. And 3a times 2a is equal to 6a squared. Okay? Now, we now consider the negative 3 here. The only factors, or the factors of negative 3 can be negative 1 times positive 3 or positive 1 times a negative 3. Okay. So, saan kaya natin sila ilalagay? Okay, so I think negative 3 here and plus 1 here. And then you may want to check. Okay? You take the, the two smiling curve here. This one. That one. And this is the other smiling curve. Like that. Okay, you multiply. What is 1 times 2a? It's 2a. And then 3a times negative 3, the answer is negative 9a. When you add 2a and negative 9a, you will get negative 7a. Okay? Kapag nakuha nyo yung nasa gitna or the middle term, tama yung factors ninyo. Okay? Okay, what about our denominator? How do we factor this? Ganito yon, di ba? You have 4a squared. So, it can be 4a times a. Pero hindi yun ang gagamitin ninyo. Kasi wala namang 4a dito sa dalawang to. Yeah. Magiging clue nyo na to kung anong magiging factors ng denominator. So, 4a squared, you will use 2a times 2a. Yeah? So, clue na yon. You cannot use 4a times a. Kasi wala naman sa taas. So, all you have to use is 2a times 2a. Isa pang clue. Dito sa numerator, you have 2a minus 3. Right? So, itry ninyo, baka naman, minus 3 talaga yung isang factor, 2a minus 3. Okay? You check, baka pwede. So, if this is negative 3, ano yung kapartner nyo dito? It should be negative 1. Because your goal is to have a positive 3. Right? So, negative 1 times negative 3, that's positive 3. Oh, you check the two smiling curve again here. Here, that's negative 2a when you multiply, right? Here, what do you get? You'll get negative 6a. And then that's it, diba? This is negative 2a. This is negative 6a. When you add, you will get negative 8a. So, ito talaga ang factors niya. You see? So, dapat magkaroon kayo ng mga clue. Aware kayo na merong mga clue kapag you're able to factor the numerator. So, yung factoring in the denominator must be easy kasi may clue na kayo doon sa numerator. Pero hindi palaging ganun yung case. Okay? Okay. Sige. So, we can cancel this common factor here. So, the final answer is 3a plus 1 over 2a minus 1. Here. Alright? So, please review on how to factor trinomials. Okay? Let me give you another example. Again, you may pause this video and then you may want to try this problem on your own. Okay, let's factor now. What is this? Okay. This is a difference. It's minus. Okay. If you have a minus or a difference, may dalawa lang kayong options. Automatic options kung paano nyo i-factor. Kasi you have a difference of 2 squares and a difference of 2 cubes. Diba? Obviously, it is a difference of 2 squares because you have x squared and then 16, you can write this as 4 squared. So you have a difference of 2 squares. So how do you factor it? It is x plus 4 times x minus 4. Right? Okay. What about this trinomial? X squared minus 4x plus 16. You know what? This trinomial is not factorable. Okay? Kahit anong factoring ang gawin nyo, kahit anong trial and error ang gawin nyo, you cannot really find factors for this trinomial. So how do you check if this trinomial is factorable or not? Ganito lang yon. You check the coefficient of x squared. Anong coefficient yan? It's 1. And then, you also consider the constant term here. It's positive 16. Now you get their product. It's 1. The coefficient here, it's 1 times a positive 16. What do you get? Positive 16, right? That's the product. Now, if the product is positive 16, para malaman nyo kung factorable po ito o hindi, can you find factors of 16 that when you add, the answer is negative 4. The coefficient of x here, which is negative 4. Can you find factors of 16? So what do I mean by factors of 16? For example, 16, it can be 8 times 2, right? But 8, di ba? You have 8 times 2. But 8 plus 2 equals 10. It's not negative 4. Yun ang hinahanap natin. Factors of 16 na pag inad ninyo, the answer is negative 4. Okay? Ano pang maiisip yung factors ng 16? Negative 8 times negative 2. Pero pag inad nyo ulit yun, negative 8 plus a negative 2, the answer is negative 10. It's not negative 4. Okay? So, hindi talaga kayo makakakita ng factors ng 16. Okay? You may want to try 1 times 16. Okay? When you add 1 and 16, okay, the answer is 17. It's not negative 4. You see? So, kahit anong gawin nyo, hindi talaga kayo makakahanap ng factors ng 16 na pag kinuha nyo yung sum ng factors, you'll get negative 4. Kapag hindi talaga makakita ng ganon, this is not factorable. Okay? Okay, so if it's not factorable, you just copy it. Okay? What about our denominator? What are the factors? You have sum, or you have a binomial actually. Okay? You have a binomial here. Well, kapag naman binomial, tapos nakita nyo, sum, dapat ang maiisip nyo agad ay sum of 2 cubes. And yes, this is x cubed, and you can write 64 as 4 cubed. So that's why you have x cubed plus 4 cubed. Kasi 4 cubed is 64. 4 times 4, 16. 16 times 4, it's 64. X plus 4 times x squared minus 4x plus 16. So you recall sum of 2 cubes. Yeah? Okay, and here are the factors. And clearly, you can cancel x plus 4 and x squared minus 4x plus 16. You see, kahit hindi ma-factor, possible pa rin may ma-cancel out. Okay? So, what is the final answer here? It is simply x minus 4. Diba? Ang dali. So, nakita nyo, mahalaga talaga na strong ang foundation ng factoring ninyo. Okay? So if you have time, you may want to recall all the factoring methods that you learned. Okay? All right. I still have two examples for you. Two more examples. Okay, so this is our sixth example. Okay? So, of course, tingnan nyo muna ang given. Okay? You may want to solve it on your own again. Okay. So, if you look at the numerator, I think we can just factor out 4 as a common factor. Right? Okay, let's do it. So, I can factor out 4. So, I'll have 4 here and then have a squared plus 3b. Okay, what about our denominator? What are the factors of this trinomial? Yes, we have a trinomial again. So you may want to make use of trial and error or any methods that you know on how to factor trinomials. Okay? So actually, if you inspect closely, this is a perfect square trinomial. Okay? But again, you may use the trial and error method on how to factor this. And the factors are a squared plus 3b. Again, paano ko nalaman? Ayan, kamukha lang nito dapat. Okay? And then, of course, the other factor is the same. It's a squared plus 3b. Okay? Hint kasi, don't forget, hint ninyo yung numerator. Kasi, di ba, your goal is to, to come up with factors na magka-cancel out. So, if you have a squared plus 3b in the numerator, dapat, or if you have 4 in the numerator, somehow dapat may idea kayo na, baka lumabas yung 4 and, or, pwede rin lumabas yung a squared plus 3b sa denominator. Okay? So, yun nga, lumabas nga. Okay? You can cancel this. So, your final answer is 4 over a squared plus 3b. Diba? So, wala tayong ginagawa dito kundi mag-factor lang. Okay? We factor the numerator. We also factor the denominator. And then we cancel out the common factors. So, ganun lang mag-simplify ng rational expression. Okay? Dapat magaling kayo sa factoring. Okay? Okay, let's have the last example. So, this is our last example. What do you notice? In the numerator, what? It is not a trinomial. It is a polynomial with 4 terms. Okay? And then in the denominator, you have a trinomial again. Okay? So, usually naman kapag 4 terms, okay, you may want to try factoring by grouping. And we're going to do that. Okay, so let's have a scratch paper to factor the numerator and the denominator. Okay, numerator first. Okay, let's try factoring by grouping. So, I'm going to have 15xy. I'm going to group 15xy and this one. Okay, group. Okay. And then, automatic lagi nyo ilagay plus na yan muna ha. Okay, plus. Okay, and then you copy negative 21y plus 28. Like that. Okay? So, ito muna plus lang palagi para hindi kayo malito sa sign. Plus. Okay? Okay. Let's try to do the factoring by grouping. Ano ba yung common factor dito sa first group? What do we have? 5x. We can factor out 5x. And then what's left inside? It's 3y minus 4. Alright? Okay. Let's move on to the second group. Okay, ito ngayon. You have negative 21y plus 28. You may want to factor out minus 7. I factored out negative 7. So, it's going to be positive 3y minus 4. Kasi ito naman talaga ang goal ng factoring by grouping. Magkaroon ng pareho dito. Right? Kapag pareho na siya, you can factor that out. The 3y minus 4. Yeah, you factor that out. And what's going to be left, you have 5x minus 7. Diba? So, very easy. Yan ang factors ng ating numerator. It's 3y minus 4 times 5x minus 7. So, I'm going to copy it. Okay? So, I'll have equals, again, what are the factors of the numerator? It's 3y minus 4 times 5x minus 7. Okay, let me write it here. 3y minus 4 times 5x minus 7. Okay, over, what about the denominator? It is a trinomial, pero kung titingnan ninyo, parang may kakaiba. Right? Bakit parang hindi nauuna yung y squared? Yung negative 3y squared. Okay? Pwede nyong i-rearrange yan. Okay? So, let's have a scratch paper again. Here. Okay? So, we have 4 plus y minus 3y squared in the denominator. So, let's rearrange. Kasi mas sanay tayo na yung may y squared yung nauuna. So, we'll have negative 3y squared plus y plus 4. Right? Tapos, medyo baka hindi pa rin kayo komportable. Why? Because negative ang coefficient ni y squared. You have a negative 3. Pwede naman ninyong gawing positive yan. You can take a negative 1 outside. So, di ba, pag negative 1, pwedeng wag nyo nang isulat. So, you just write a negative sign here. So, anong may iwan sa loob? It's a positive 3y squared. But be careful with the signs. You have a minus y here and a minus 4 here. Okay? Para mas komportable kayo mag-factor ng trinomial. Okay? Pero wag niyong kakalimutan yung negative na ito. So, you always copy that. Negative. And then, you factor that trinomial. So, ito siguro 3y. Tapos, ito y. Okay? Tapos, nasan ba yung hint natin? Tingnan ninyo ang numerator. Nasan ang numerator? Yun. Merong 3y. At minus 4 ang kapartner niya. So, you may want to try minus 4 here. Mag-work kaya? If this is minus 4, yes. Lagay nyo dito plus 1. Okay? And then, you check. Okay? You may want to verify using the FOIL method. And the answer will be this one. Okay? So, these are the factors of the denominator. Let us copy. Don't forget the negative sign. So, teacher will copy here. So, you have negative 3 I'm sorry, yeah, like that. So negative 3y minus 4 times y plus 1. And then this will cancel out. Okay? So your final answer is